Hello and welcome to the Kenny T One-on-One podcast brought to you by Yatu Tea and Powerhouse Media, the holding company for Power TV, Power FM, as well as Bits TV. Thank you very much for following the conversation every single week. And we'd like to say what's up to everybody that's watching all around Zambia and obviously outside the borders of Zambia. We appreciate you and thank you very much for loving what we're doing. We do this every single week because of you. My guest today is Chairman Pompi. Pompi, how are you doing, man?
I'm very well, Mr. Kenny. How are you doing?
Very well, man. You know, when I was having a conversation with Sue, when she was briefing me, she was telling me, like, do you remember that people have been saying, Pompi looks like JJ Banda? Which Lulu wako JJ Banda.
But there's also this Wisa. There's a football player, the Congolese player who gave Zambia problems. So they were saying, if you remember the game, so they were saying, Pompi, you've betrayed us.
Hey, nice one, man. So how are things going in the music industry? I remember I'm not sure whether it's the last time or the second last time I met you. You were taking a break. I think you're working on something at the studio.
Yeah.
Somewhere in Kalundu, I think.
Yes.
Yeah. How did that project go?
It's
still ongoing?
Yeah.
Okay.
So everything is going well. I started. I would say it's a digital evangelism platform. It's called Atmosphere Daily.
Okay.
So that's what when I was talking, that's what I was setting up. So we have like devotionals every morning, Bible studies every day.
All right.
So we just bring different influencers in the Christian space, make them do a 7-day series devotional. And so people obviously follow every day and get to know more about the word and the Bible.
So is this just online? It's on YouTube?
This is just online. This year we want to now do events because obviously it's difficult to disciple people just digitally. We want to actually now have events where we get
able to interact with them.
Because digitally doesn't do it 100%. We actually need to meet them in person.
I don't know if we spoke to each other, but I think about a year or 2 years ago, you were doing an event at Garden City.
Oh yes.
Where artists were coming and they were performing.
Yes.
Yeah. So a friend of mine told me, no, you know what? There's this thing going on.
Yes.
Let's go and check it out. I really loved it.
Oh wow.
Are you still doing it?
No, we stopped. That was coffee and jazz. Yes.
Oh, that was amazing.
Thank you very much. Yeah.
And then Exile came on, and I remember he's like, "Oh, it feels very strange to perform in front of a sober crowd."
Yes.
Even tell you to sing a song you've never sung before.
I hear you. Yeah, it was really nice. So the big idea behind that was, obviously I'm coming from the world, and I felt, in the world there's a lot of opportunities for social interaction.
Yeah.
So obviously when I got born again, I was thinking, you know what, outside the church, I want to create a space where people can just have a social space where we're not sharing scriptures, we're not no one's preaching, just to enjoy some jazz, enjoy a coffee, and just fellowship. So that's why we created Coffee and Jazz. So to duplicate the idea of the fact that people go to the club every week, we said we're gonna have the event every week, so Christians can socialize and gather every week. So I think we did if I'm not mistaken, about 60 weeks or something like that. But we decided that we put that on hold because it was now consuming so much of both the pocket and time.
Yeah, no, because I could see it was well organized. You had a huge team behind it. It was very professionally done. To be honest, it was really. If ever you get a chance to think of wanting to do it again, I'll tell you should go for it.
Serious, eh?
Yeah,
wow.
It was really nice. And
thank you very
if
much.
you did 60?
Yeah.
That's a good run. I mean, I think after 60, you also want to take a break, reorganize, or
exactly.
Yeah. No, but it was really nice.
No,
so
let's
start from the beginning, Pompi. Let's speak about where you're born. I know you're a Lusaka guy.
Yeah.
Let's speak about your childhood for a little bit. Where were you born?
I was born here in Lusaka at UTH. Yeah, Lusaka boy. I'm the last born. I've got
How many?
three sisters. Unfortunately, the eldest one, passed away.
Oh, I'm so sorry to hear that. Yeah.
But yeah, the only boy.
So
and
you're the only
last one.
boy.
Yeah.
So they
the last
spoiled you, huh? The girls.
Yeah, I guess I'm the spoiled one.
Yeah. Okay, so
Yeah.
which part of Lusaka did you grow up?
So I grew up initially. It was in Rhodes Park.
Mhm.
And then later on, we moved to Kalundu. My parents have been in Kalundu for a very, very long time. Yeah,
Ah,
yeah. So those are the two neighborhoods that I've always known. So Rhodes Park and Kalundu. Yeah,
Okay, so your parents, we'll speak about that later. There's something
Yeah.
I wanted to say. I think I
Yeah.
attended one of your concerts
Oh yeah.
and I saw them there and I was
Oh,
really
yeah.
inspired.
Oh, amazing.
But yeah, so which schools did you go to?
First school.
I know you went to Chadley House School at some point.
Yes. So I went. That was my first school actually. So Chadley
Okay.
House School. Then I went to Ibex Hill School. Then from Ibex Hill School, I went to Baobab, and that's where I finished my school. And then I went to university at Monash University in South Africa.
Mhm.
Yeah, so that's where I got my honors degree in business systems.
Great.
Yeah.
Just before we move on, I just want to send out a big shout out to Chadley House School. I think they're doing an amazing job with the kids.
Yep.
They've got what do they call it? Media. Is it a media club?
Oh, they've got a media club.
They have a media,
Oh, wow.
media, and then also they've got their own podcast running.
Wow.
I think a few months ago we were privileged to have the kids from the school.
Yeah.
They came and sat in here while we were shooting the podcast, and then on their last media day, I was invited to go there and just be a part of it. They're doing an amazing job. I think when I was growing up, media was being looked at the same way music was. What Mulenga, you know what I mean?
Yes.
You tell your parents to say no. I want to be a radio presenter or want to do TV.
Yes,
They'll look at you like
Yeah.
you need to work in the bank.
Exactly.
Yeah, you need to.
Exactly.
So, but Chadley House School has taken it very, very seriously.
Wow, that's amazing.
They've got equipment, they've got cameras, and I think we have tours from the kids come visit Powerhouse Media almost every 2 months, 3 months. Yeah,
Oh, wow.
and we're always happy to host them. So for me, I'm very encouraged because if they're grooming those kids now,
Yeah.
imagine what
What
they'll be when they're like my age. You know what I mean?
100%,
Because
yes.
I didn't get such kind of opportunities,
yes,
in terms of the
yes.
schools I went to. So you went to a really, really good school.
Yeah.
But so when you're in Chadley House School and when you went to Baobab,
Yeah.
what were you aspiring to be?
I won't lie to you. Even up to university level, being a musician definitely wasn't the plan for me.
It wasn't, huh?
No. It wasn't the plan for me. I mean, I wanted to be in the corporate space. I wanted to be a corporate titan. That
Yeah.
was my ambition. Yeah.
Yeah.
But obviously God had other plans. So my journey, my testimony is obviously that obviously got born again. I was an atheist, got born again, and then basically God instructed me that I need to sing for Him. It was a fight in the beginning because you would know music. Even for my parents, I mean, it was rough, and I can understand.
Yeah.
Music is not at the time. I always joke because when I got the instruction, I always joke because I used to think that. So when I want to get married now, I was having these conversations with God. When I want to get married now, so when the woman I want to marry, the parents ask me, young man, what do you do? Saying,
Yeah.
God, you expect me to say that I'm a musician? Really? In Zambia. At the time I was so afraid of being obedient to that.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, he's definitely shocked me. And yeah, the Bible is true that your giftings bring you before kings, because I really never saw music being able to sustain me. If I'm being honest, in the beginning, I really just did it out of pure obedience. I didn't necessarily know that I can I can raise a family and do what God has done through it. Yeah.
So Pompi, before you you were born again,
Yeah.
you didn't believe in God at all.
No.
Is there any reasons behind that?
In fact, Christianity offended me at the time.
Oh,
It
really?
was offensive to me. Yeah, it was. It
Why?
was. I guess because of I used to read a lot, and I came across obviously books on African history, and I remember going through. It was actually a documentary. I would read books, but there was also a documentary that was showing. I don't know. There's a place called the Point of No Return in Ghana. There's one in Benin. There's one in Ghana.
Hmm.
And what would happen is the way they would build these is that I don't know if you know the slaves. They would keep them just the same way you would want to fit them in you fit commodities in a container and make sure that you carry a lot.
Yeah,
one
yeah. You carry
container
as much as
much as
possible.
possible.
Yeah.
So there was the storehouses at the bottom where they used to plank these people. So they would put like let's say 5 guys lying down, and then a plank on top, and then another 5 guys, and then they would squeeze them into these rooms. And then on the top of this storehouse, there was a church.
Wow.
And then all the time on the slave ships, there would be a priest who would be interceding for the trip. Or what would they would say, interceding for the trip. So I remember watching that, and I was thinking like, this God, I can never pray to this God. This is not is not God. But obviously, it was a misrepresentation of Christianity. So I thought Christianity came on a ship with the colonizer. If you can say.
I
Yeah.
hear you.
So I just looked at it as part of the propaganda, obviously not knowing that it came in, thousands of years before, in Ethiopia and Lalibela and all these different churches that were built there. But yeah, that was the perception I had then. So that's why I found it offensive, because I used to think Christians are just brainwashed. And and they're not curious to question, where their faith, the religion comes from. Yeah.
So before you became a believer, did you party with us in the clubs?
I always joke and I say I didn't attend parties. I hosted them. Yeah, I hired nightclubs.
Is it?
Yeah, I don't know if you remember Johnny's nightclub.
Yeah, I remember Johnny's.
I hired
Johnny's was on somewhere close to Addis Ababa there.
Yeah,
right?
Yeah. I hired Johnny's a couple of times.
To do what?
A party. I had a party. I used to host a party with a couple of friends called Blacklisted. Yeah, even the Zina Che, just the name.
Was it blacklisted?
Yeah. So we used to host a lot of parties. So yeah, no, definitely, I definitely wasn't born again. Yeah.
Did you smoke?
I did. Blunts even.
Is it?
Yeah.
But then, what changed? What was your turning point? It's a very important question, this one.
Yeah. So I'll summarize it. But when I went to South Africa, I don't know if I'm sure you knew Mandiva, MT Productions.
Yeah, MT Productions. Yes,
there was the M. His Mandiva. So he was in South Africa. So he used to do a lot of editing work and for a lot of he would do editing work for MTV. He would do a lot of editing work for Channel. So I got to meet him there in South Africa, and he just really believed in what I was doing.
You had started singing at the time.
But I just used to do it underground, because at the time, remember, I was studying to be in the corporate space. So music, I just did it because I thought it made me like cool. When you're young, you want that validation.
Yeah.
So I just thought like, anyway, I'm a quiet guy. I'm an introvert. So I guess maybe music is what I can use to just
express
myself and let people know that I'm here.
Yeah.
But I guess it blew bigger than what I expected, because obviously I eventually would tour universities and got signed to a Nigerian label and the like.
That's in SA.
That was in SA.
Okay. All right.
Yeah. But yeah, while I was there, he told me that, look, I want to shoot a music video for you. And I'm gonna cover the cost for everything.
That's Mandiva.
Did
someone introduce you to him, or you just?
No, he introduced himself. Actually, he saw me walking. I was walking out of. He had a young brother who used to come to the university often, so I think he came to pick up his young brother. So on his way out, I was at the gate with some friends, and he was like, "Hi, excuse me, are you Pompi?" So I said, "Yeah, I'm Pompi." He said, "Man, I've heard your music. I think you're very talented. Do you have time? Can I give you I'm actually on my way to MTV right now. Do you want to come?" And I'm like, "Hey,
MTV.
Yeah, MTV. I'm landing. I'm there." So yeah, jumped in with him, and and that's where I guess we started conversations from. And he was like, "Look, I want to shoot a music video for you, for free. I'll cover everything." So and he actually told me, "Who's your favorite artist in SA at the time?" And I told him my favorite artist is Zubs. I don't know if you know, there was a rapper called Zubs. I loved hip hop, like very very lyrical hip hop. So I was like your Nas guy.
Okay.
Yeah, Wu
Okay.
Tang kind of.
Yeah.
Those were that's the music I used to listen to. You know. So in SA it was Zubs. So I actually got to the shoot. Zubs was the one who welcomed me, like he organized for him to come, these DOPs from some of the best DOPs at the time. Yeah, and then obviously he changed my life. So I remember I asked him like, "Oh, dude, you've actually genuinely changed my life. How can I pay you back?" And he said that just come to church with me for 3 Sundays.
That's
And
Madiva.
yeah,
Okay.
and you would have paid me back. And basically, in those 3 Sundays, is the first time I had an encounter with the Holy Spirit. So that was what question, because I was an atheist at the
Yeah.
time. So being an atheist, you believe in science, you believe in
Yeah.
action, reaction, you believe in So that encounter with the Holy Spirit is what made me understand that there's definitely more, you know. And obviously still stubborn. It didn't happen immediately, even after those encounters.
Takes a bit of time.
Yeah, I was still fighting. I was
Yeah.
still fighting. So about a year later, alone in my room, because what that encounter did is made me now start reading the word, because I never really used to pay attention to read the word. So yeah, when I understood the word for myself, alone in my room, gave my life to Christ. And yeah, here we are today. Yeah.
So this particular day when you're alone in your room,
Yeah.
what was going on? Were you going through some things?
No. What's funny is, my salvation, there was no drama. Sometimes I even feel shy to tell my testimony when there are other people sharing their testimonies,
Yeah.
because sometimes some
Because
are
there's
horror
no.
story.
Yeah.
Ninafa
I was in a dark place.
Exactly, you know what I mean. So it's like when you say like, no, for me it was nothing. It was just getting to know. I got to understand and know God, and got to understand that there is more. There's more, and it's obvious. It's obvious. It's just sometimes you don't pay attention to it. Um, Sometimes, obviously, I relied so much on knowledge, but then you realize that there's things that are beyond. That are beyond knowledge. Um, I like to explain even from the dynamic of one of the things that used to fascinate me so much is Egypt, for example. We invented a telescope in 2012, I think, which saw a constellation of stars that the Egyptians already knew about. Now, how did they know if the telescope was not there? So it means they had an insight into a knowledge that was beyond the sight of what man's capacity was at that time. So those curiosities.
But those are deep curiosities, Mama.
Yeah. Those curiosities just made me.
Yeah.
Sometimes we look for miracles, but we live around miracles. We're living on a floating planet that's spinning at an axis. We're not falling off this thing. So I think we look too far for miracles. Miracles are everywhere. Yeah.
I look at miracles also just like opportunities. Sometimes as people, we're very good at wanting to look for opportunities outside,
Yeah.
when there's actually a lot of opportunities within.
Too much.
Too
much.
And unfortunately, people on the outside again are the ones that will see.
Exactly.
So
exactly. Yeah.
you're like,
Yeah.
oh, okay. So at this point, you're already doing music, right?
Yeah. I was. I was actually signed on a label, and
you were signed.
I was in the process of doing an album.
Okay, so you're into secular hip hop.
Yeah.
Like, what kind of songs did you do at the time? Anything out?
No. So I did a project. So I was supposed to be signed as a Nigerian artist.
As a Nigerian artist?
Yes.
Why?
The label at the time felt obviously the Zambian market is too small.
Oh, okay.
So they wanted to
numbers.
Numbers. Yeah. So they wanted. So I went to Nigeria. I used to go to Nigeria often. They wanted me to understand the culture, get to know. So in the process of that, and obviously the label was owned by the fourth richest family in Nigeria. At the time, the budget for my album was probably at the time I didn't know an artist, I think, on the continent who had a budget for their album.
Like the budget that you
like
had.
the budget that I had, yeah. It was and because I mean they had the capacity for it. Yeah. So I was in the middle of working on the project. My producer was Shizi, who's Davido's producer.
Davido's,
Amongst other producers. So I was in the middle of producing an album, but that's when this
this happened. And
So
it changed everything.
yeah, so yeah, I had to go to the label and say, guys, I've had this encounter, and I don't think I can release this music. And obviously they didn't sign a gospel artist, but they showed grace because and I have to hand it to them. They had spent a lot already.
Because that's what I'm thinking about.
Yeah.
I'm thinking, okay, if the project was almost done or done, I mean, a lot of money had gone in already, and then the talent wakes up and says, I can't do this anymore.
Exactly. But imagine, like, when I went, they said, look, we sort of felt it, we sort of right, and the last thing we want to do is come between you and God, so don't worry about it, it's okay. Yeah. And that's when I came back here, and I came back home and started.
But I want to understand one thing. So when they wanted to sign you on as a Nigerian artist, did it mean that you were going to pretend like you're Nigerian? Or
I was just not talk about my
where you're from,
where I'm from, like, like maybe in an interview, not to be like, basically position myself as they found me in South Africa because I was in South Africa.
Okay.
Yeah, so basically South Africa, Nigeria, not talk too much about where so not necessarily call myself a Nigerian, but because they wanted me to reach the Nigerian market, and they are very passionate about their own. They wanted me basically to be around associated with all these artists. Like, I was supposed to. I used to do shows with Wizkid, Banky W, all these guys. So they wanted me to be in those circles so that
you get into the market.
And naturally, people just assume I'm a Nigerian.
Yeah.
But a Nigerian who maybe doesn't know the language, who's like, because I would obviously speak in English most of the time. Yeah.
Okay, so now, when you came back now, you became a gospel artist.
Yes.
I realized when I heard your music in the beginning, I was like, okay, this style is different. I was a bit unsure about the style. And then it grew on me.
Wow.
I will tell you, like, Miju is one of my favorite albums.
Oh man, thanks.
When I'm doing a road trip, say I'm going to the Copperbelt. I'm able to put the whole album on repeat. You know what I mean? And I'll listen the lyrics and whatever. It's a good album, and I think a lot of people that have heard it will actually agree with me that he's just not saying it because Pompi is on his show.
Thanks
right?
a lot, man.
I remember, I think I Nadia Shima nalanda mchwemba Nadia Shima ko CD. One time I misplaced mine, and because I moved around with the CD so much, I lost the CD that I borrowed from somebody.
Oh wow!
You get what I mean? And I don't even remember how it ended.
Yeah.
But for me, that's how.
Wow.
Now, obviously, with digital, there's a lot of music on the digital platforms, so it's easy for me to go onto Spotify or these platforms to just sort of like. So, Miju, was it the first project you did?
That was the first project I did, basically now as a born again believer. Yeah. So when I came back, I guess that was Miju. Obviously, I needed to build a community around myself, so I had to find a church. Obviously, this is me coming back. So
how easy was it? I think before we actually even talk about the Miju album. So when you got back into Zambia, you're like, okay, how did you connect yourself with the industry, the churches, and all of that, especially on the music side first?
Yeah.
Who did you meet first?
So I met Mag 44 and Ian. So at the time, so they own a company called Radio Cafe. So I met them first. Then at the studio, I met Tio, I met Chungu, I met obviously Mag 44 himself. And for me, my approach in being a believer, I said that, look, me, I used to, I was the king of Babylon, if you can say this. I used to, so I want to come back this side. I'm not intimidated by those spaces.
Yeah.
Even now, like, I'm not intimidated. People, like, maybe if somebody's drinking a glass of whiskey or whatever, I don't feel, because some people who were maybe born again very early in environments they feel quite intimidated. But because I used to design those environments, if you can say, I'm not intimidated till today, I guess. Not intimidated by those environments. So my approach was that I want to reach out to people who were like me, and I want to reach out. I want the gospel to reach people. So not like the people who are like already your Orthodox Christian. I wasn't making music for the church. I was making music for the lost. So I wanted to relate with people who were like me, because I felt that there was no music that was, even when I was not born again. I literally, the only gospel artist I knew was Kirk Franklin and Rachel,
Mhm.
and Ephraim. But I didn't know any gospel artists. So yeah, so that was the idea. So I, from inception, said, okay, that's what I'm gonna do. But I didn't know that approach um, was a bit controversial uh, at the time,
In
because
what sense? The church
the church
wasn't.
was very, I would say, conservative. Um, so that was very different from what the norm was. So yeah, obviously the kind of places I would go. I mean, I would actually, in the beginning, I would actually go to the club with my CD and like go. Do you need do you need somebody to perform? Like like go to the DJ. Like I can do a performance. I remember I did that at Smugglers. Still
Smugglers
remember the
in.
place. Smugglers. Yeah, I went there and I gave a CD. The DJ like, oh,
When you had found God already.
yeah.
Uh-huh.
And I'm like,
Okay.
oh, I'm an artist. I wouldn't say I'm gospel.
Yeah.
I'll say I'm an artist and I've got some music. Can I just do like a free performance? And of course, they knew me because of the previous the bring the bass and blah blah blah.
Mhm.
And yeah, so yeah, DJ, some DJ would be like, okay, cool. And then I'll put, but the song I would do would be Nipempela, and like there would be gospel song, but obviously ones that don't kill
Yeah.
the sound sonically, they don't sound too far from what is the normal.
Yeah.
And yeah, and that was, but now that approach wasn't, um yeah, it was I would say controversial to what's there.
It didn't sit well with the
Didn't sit
church.
well with the church. So yeah, I was banned from some churches and blah. And at the time, I found that there were these artists who were just like me. So the Chungu, Mark
Mhm.
44,
Mhm.
who had the same ambition and were not afraid of the backlash because their conviction was very strong. So yeah, that's how we formed Lota House, and that's how that had happened. So yeah,
Okay, so I remember when I was speaking to Abel, he spoke about something similar,
yeah,
you know,
yeah,
and personally, I felt a bit to understand,
yeah,
and it has confused me more that you've spoken about it,
yeah,
because I am thinking, when you go to church, most of the people who are in church already know about God,
yeah,
right?
yeah, 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 yeah,
They most of them have found God already,
yeah, yeah,
and I'm thinking, doesn't it make more sense to actually go and speak to people who don't know about God?
yeah, yeah,
And most of the times, you don't find those in church,
yeah, yeah,
right?
yeah,
It means that you're spreading the gospel.
yeah,
That is what I think. I could
yeah,
be wrong.
yeah,
It's just an opinion,
yeah,
right? So personally, I don't know. Maybe it's a story. It's a topic for another day.
mm.
But so now, when you started, you do some songs that were not on the Mijo album before you yeah.
Yes, I did. No, just one song, I think. So there was a song that I did called Nipempela.
Mhm.
That was actually my first gospel song, Nipempela. I think, yeah, that was, I did Nipempela, and at the time I did Chipolo Polo. So those are the songs that I would do. Yeah,
So Pompey, so you because of the backlash, so you can't perform at an event where people are drinking, as like the concerts and all of that stuff. These secular concerts, you wouldn't perform
Wow, what, like
like
now?
now.
No, I would. So this is what I say. There's no platform that the name Jesus cannot be mentioned.
Mm.
Um, and if you look at it, Jesus Christ spent most of his time in the marketplace, not in the synagogue. So some of these things are very obvious, but sometimes obviously culture and orthodoxy blends itself in, and we find ourselves in the same cycles of the Pharisee, where now when you associate with people who seemingly don't seem to be fit, it's like there's a Salvation Bureau of standards.
Yeah. And to
Like,
be honest, I really don't get it.
yeah. So I would say that's what very, because I was what, like, for me, I look at, like, I was once this guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, Mandiva got backlash for associating with me at the time. So you can imagine with what he did and how it changed my life. For me to now look at somebody else and like be like, it would be completely off, because for me, somebody had the grace to extend a hand, even if I did not
No,
look
but
like.
but that's how it
Yeah,
started. He
yeah,
planted something in you.
he planted
You
something
get
in.
what I mean? And I'm
Yeah,
thinking as born again Christians and as people that want to preach the gospel,
yeah,
you guys need to do more of what Mandiva did for you.
yeah.
But then where do you find the Pompi? You find them out there, not in church.
Exactly.
And then also, why is the church punishing instead of bringing people together?
Yeah.
So
But
I've heard
I would say
this.
the church there are a lot of things that have, I would say, they've improved. Like I think
Uh,
the theology started to, because I mean, like, now it's not like there's any church that I wouldn't say there's a church that I'm banned from, but at that time, obviously,
yeah.
even hip hop, hip hop was not something that, I don't know if you know, by the way, that one time the drum was considered a secular instrument.
No.
Yeah.
So they didn't.
You couldn't play
You couldn't play it
drums
in
in the
church.
church. Yeah.
Okay. So
So
things are changing. Things are changing.
things are changing. So, like, for example, in response to that, I sang a song called Ngoma Zilili.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that was, I felt like, no, guys, we need to, some of these things, I think, and I guess I was very convicted, because I was like, as long as I see it in the word, that's what I'm going to use as the standard.
Yeah.
I don't want to attach to orthodoxy that's outside the word. Yeah.
Yeah. So let's speak about the Mijo album.
Yeah.
What were you thinking?
Yeah.
Because you outdid yourself on that album.
Thanks a lot.
Yeah.
Thanks.
What were you hoping to achieve when you're in the planning stages? And because I know putting songs together for an album, there's a lot of thought that goes to it, because
Yeah.
you wanted to have almost a bit of everything.
Yeah.
Who did you work with?
Yeah.
Where did you draw the inspiration from?
Yeah. So I would say the inspiration behind Miju I was writing an album to speak to myself in the way the person that I was.
Mhm.
I wanted to reach out and communicate to that person. And that person was quite stubborn. So yeah, quite stubborn. So I needed to I put in I guess I put in quite a bit of work to make sure that I tried. So I would say I was speaking to myself, but eventually, in me speaking to myself, obviously, my previous self, a lot of people resonated with that, because yeah, obviously I can't express how people take it on their behalf, but I'm assuming that sort of maybe authenticity or the approach to doing it is what people resonated with, because I didn't want to come as a Christian. um I didn't want to come non-authentic. I didn't want to speak about what I haven't experienced.
Mhm.
I've never rapped or spoke or speak about, for example, tongues. I'll just use it as an example,
Mhm.
because I that's not part of my experience. I don't speak in tongues. Yeah, so I just tried to keep the 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 album authentic to all the things that I had experienced, and to that point, my understanding of God's nature, that it's not that is a God of grace and not a God of just pure judgment, because that's what I thought. In fact, that when I was an atheist, I didn't like. I used to, this is how I used to think. I used to think, okay, so God created us, gave us um inclinations and temptation, like he gave us desires, um and then basically created us to test us. So for me, I sort of thought like, no, that's off. Like, why would you create us to test us? If you had the capacity to create a perfect being, why didn't you just do that? Why create us to test us? So those ideas sort of, I just thinking like, no, that's a bit like, you're like gamifying a human existence. Yeah. So that thing, like, I sort of, but obviously now when I understood what the truth is, understood that actually God is a God of grace, and he's obviously trying to reach out to us, and he by no means does he expect you to come to him perfect. It's not perfection he's looking for. And if you look at a lot of these guys in the Bible, you realize that I was joking with my team the other day, and I asked them in a Bible study that, guys, any of you in this room, do you think if David was alive that he would be your friend? They thought about it and they were like, actually, no. I said, why? I was like, no, David, I don't think he'll be my homie, because like this guy got another. It's like you've got a loyal friend, right? You've got a loyal friend. He got another man's wife and killed the husband so that he can hide the affair that he's having, and obviously God through the prophets judged him for it. But I think the Bible leaves those in there to show you that these forefathers that we are to be inspired by, that they were not perfect.
They're not perfect at all.
They were not perfect. So if the Bible wanted to curate perfect stories, God could have easily done that. But he leaves those things in there to show that man is flawed. Whether it's Abraham, all of these guys had their issues. So I guess that is what brought some clarity. And yeah.
No, Pompi, I'll ask. How do you consider yourself? Are you a rapper, gospel rapper? Are you a singer? Are you just a musician?
I'm just
Because your style, and then also in answering that, when you came back with your style,
yeah,
were you worried whether people would accept it or not?
No, I wouldn't say I was worried. It's my approach. I won't lie to you. I don't find validation anymore from people. Yeah. Even the music, I can be very experimental. Most of the time, I don't know how people will receive it. I can be very experimental and just be trying out a lot of things. What is important to me is that it's authentic to who I am. So as long as I find I don't it's authentic to who I am, and what I feel, and I'm feeling it, I release it. Because remember, again, it's not. I'm obviously looking at where I came from. I'm not here for clout.
Yeah.
If I wanted clout, I wanted to come out a certain way, I was there already. God didn't meet me in the valley; He met me on the mountaintop. So yeah, there are those things that I don't have a desire for. So yeah, I would say that even with music, I do it not thinking, okay, is this going to be I want to do the numbers. I want to beat the numbers of the last album, or I don't approach it that way. It's more the message that I want to communicate, and yeah, I do it, and I release it. Yeah.
So on the question of whether you call yourself you look at yourself as a rapper, singer, just
I would say, I actually put out the question on social media.
Oh, you
some
did?
time back, like, guys, like, I need help. What genre am I?
I'm stuck.
I'm stuck. Yeah, because I did again. Some of the songs, like, that's part of the problem sometimes. Even when putting the music, when you're registering it on the streaming platforms, we usually have a problem, because there are songs like Silence, for example. I put Silence as an example. There's those ones that are clearly maybe hip hop, but then there are songs like Silence. Um, we don't know.
You don't know where to place
where
it.
to place it. Yeah. So yeah. So, but I we don't. I don't worry too much about the genre, and like, okay, it's the genre is Pompi.
That's what it is.
Yeah.
So just let's just quickly run through. Did you do any collaborations on the Mijo album?
Yes, I did quite a few. I did obviously all the Lotta House
Mm.
guys. Yeah, collaborated with Tio, Magnus, Chungu at the time. I think pretty much that. Tasha. Yeah, yeah. So just the community of artists who we started with. Yeah.
I know that your parents only knew that you were singing at a very later stage. At
Yes,
what
yes.
point did they know, and what was their reaction?
They knew from so they knew when I was obviously a secular artist. So they were watching Channel O, and they saw the music video called Love Letter that I had done at the time.
Is it the one that Mandiva shot? No.
Yes, Mandiva shot that one as
Okay.
well. Yeah,
Okay.
Mandiva
Okay.
shot that one as well.
Uh-huh.
So yeah, my mom called my dad and said like, this boy looks like our son, eh? So he was also like, yeah, he looks. So now they were having a conversation with my sister, and they were saying, we were watching Channel O, and we saw this young man who looks exactly like
In
Chabe.
their minds, they just said, it can't be the one.
He can't be the one because
Papala na Chabe.
yeah, he can't be the one because he's an introvert.
Yeah.
I mean, there's no way. Like our son, we know him is very much an introvert, so there's
Yeah.
no way he can be on a public platform or whatever. Yeah, so my sister told them that actually he does music. So
So she knew.
she knew
Uh-huh.
he does music. That's when they knew, because obviously for them, and understandably, academics was
Yeah, it was
some
number
of these
one.
things I was afraid to let them know, because they'll be like, now you're getting distracted now.
Yeah.
This music thing is gonna make you waste time and to not focus on your schoolwork. So yeah, so that's why. But when they found out, they were very supportive, and it was actually a reaction that I didn't
That
expect.
you didn't expect.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
I remember. So I said we'll talk about it later on. I remember there's a time that I was sitting on the board of the Alliance Française of Lusaka.
Oh yes.
And I think you had a performance there.
Yes.
One of the best concerts I've ever been to.
Oh,
and,
thanks a lot.
And
Thanks.
along the way, I think it was announced that your parents were there.
Oh yes.
And it was so nice. Was
Oh,
it the
yes.
first time they were attending your
My
performance?
performances? No, they attend like Coffee and Jazz.
Yeah,
They would come for every
yeah.
show.
It's part of the support system.
Yeah, so no, they're very, 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 very supportive. They love music, so they're very, very supportive. They even critique sometimes, like this song, this one
This one is
this
good.
one,
Yeah.
So
So let's talk about the follow-up album.
yeah. Follow-up album, I believe that was Broken English. Yes. Follow-up album, Broken English. The concept behind Broken English was all the albums, I guess, are themed to what I'm like, the way I'm at, the season that I'm at the time. So Broken English, I got the concept from Moses, when he was called that they set the captives free, and he basically told God that I don't speak well, so I don't think I'm the guy. I started to get cold feet, I guess, in the ministry.
Why?
It did start to bother me. I started to feel like, okay, do I really fit in this space? Like, yeah, sort of a sense of course I've done it, of course the fans, but do I fit in?
Which space?
In the like the Christian or gospel space?
Okay.
Yeah. I felt very much like a black sheep. More and more, as and also I just felt that I just felt like there was such a huge responsibility. I almost felt like you have a generation now that is looking up to you, and the weight of that was that album. Like, now you need to free, or speak to a generation. So I guess the weight of that inspired me to do this album, Broken English. Yeah. And yeah, it's what Broken English is, the album, I guess, that broke me into the Kenyan and Ugandan market.
Oh, right.
Yeah, so they knew Broken English before me.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So did you get an opportunity to tour these countries?
Yeah. I go there almost every year.
Oh,
yeah,
still ongoing.
It's still
Got some good connections there also in the industry.
Yeah,
that you
yeah,
work with,
yeah.
obviously, when you
Yeah.
when you go?
So Kenya, Uganda, Malawi, yeah, almost every year. Rwanda, Ethiopia, almost every year. But some of them, like Ethiopia, it's not performing; it's speaking.
Speaking.
Yeah. Rwanda, there's a church that's a partner church there. But in regards to like the streaming and numbers, Rwanda and Malawi are sort of in the same, but definitely number one in regards to streaming. Number one is obviously Zambia and the diaspora community.
Yeah.
I would say number two, Uganda, and Kenya, then Uganda. Yeah.
You did a song with Slap D, Blase.
Yeah.
How did that go?
Blase. So Blase was obviously this was when I came back for holidays.
Yeah.
Um, Bring the bass. I was rapping in English, and obviously being part of this thing where I was obviously with the label, I was going to Nigeria and all these things. I sort of wanted to people to clearly know that I'm a Zambian.
Mm-hmm.
So at the time, I mean, the most happening rapper was Slap D. So
Slap,
I,
yeah.
I called Slap and I said, "Bro, I would really love to do a song with you." And yeah, that was Blase. So I was on holiday from university. I was on holiday and we did that song, and it did very very well. Yeah, at the time.
Nice.
Yeah.
It's a good song. How many albums do you have to your name now, Pompi?
Uh, Four alone. But there's Bwana which I did with Mark 44.
Okay.
Yeah.
As an album.
As an album, yes.
Okay.
Yes.
All right.
Yeah.
So the most current album is which one?
The most current album is called Pole Pole.
Pole Pole.
Yes.
I know Pole Pole.
Yes.
Yeah,
Pole Pole, yes.
Yeah. It's
Yeah.
just that I have a bias to.
To me, of course. Of course.
I know
I
Pole
hear.
Pole.
I hear.
Yeah. And then
It's
also,
actually quite interesting.
yeah.
Different like it's funny how they're different, even different spaces and demographics and people have got very different responses to the album.
So somebody else will tell you what I'm telling you, but they're talking about Pole Pole, right?
broken English.
Broken
Like,
English.
yeah, these are the ones you were playing. This album, De Penewenzo, Gamba Vanzelo.
Yeah.
So it's just good to understand. But for Zambians, I would say Miju in a big way. Yeah, most of the time in Zambia. Of course, there are people who also love broken English and become, but Miju definitely here.
Locally, yeah.
Locally.
I know I'm not the only one.
Yeah. But Pole Pole, like in Uganda, and like did very very well.
So, but even when you're doing Pole Pole, were you also thinking of these other markets outside Zambia?
Now I have to because yeah, it's so almost like I have to basically I just have
You have to
because
you have to create a sound that's just not restricted to the country.
exactly
Yeah.
exactly. So yeah, I would say yes. Now when I do create music, I factor in that okay, it's not just Zambia who's listening, so I need to make sure that at least these different cultures and demographics are catered for. Yeah.
So in these countries, do you have any plans of doing some collabos so that you make your presence even much stronger?
Yeah. So of course, the collabs that I've been doing have been more a lot like with American, British artists. So a lot of the big international gospel artists. Now I'm looking to do a lot of collaborations now with a lot of now African gospel artists. Of course, in Pole Pole, I did a collaboration with Matema, who's I would say basically one of the biggest gospel artists in South Africa right now. Um, but yeah, I haven't done a lot of features of artists who are not Zambian. I would say the only one is definitely Malawi because I've done songs with an artist called Suffix and South Africa now. But I want to do a lot more songs with other gospel artists from different African countries. Yeah.
Is there an interest from your side to do a song or two with one of the secular artists in Zambia?
Of course, I've got an
Or
agenda.
or are you restricting yourself to?
Yeah, I would say I'm a man with an agenda.
Great.
So yeah, if it aligns with the agenda, but I would say I've got, for me, like I said, so the music is not just sometimes you find maybe the artist comes and says, "Oh, I'm this artist. I've got my last 3 songs combined have," because that's the usual conversation I've done. 3 million views on YouTube, and I want to do a gospel song. Um, so obviously, my agenda is not necessarily just to get out the numbers. So it's that we actually impact and influence a generation. So what there is a certain criteria. It's a very simple criteria that we just look at to if the circular artist wants to feature. Yeah, if they go through that criteria, and that's so one of them is actually that they have to come to church with me for 3 Sundays,
Oh, great.
like Mandiva.
And then there's someone out there that could be watching and saying, but criteria, what are you talking about? Why should it be like this? Because it's complicating matters.
Yeah.
The truth of the matter is that even for someone to come and sit on this podcast, there's a vetting process.
Exactly.
Criteria that,
Yeah.
So if you're doing anything you call serious, there has to be these processes in the background to take place.
Exactly.
Yeah, because at the end of the day, it's your name again, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
And the thing is, obviously, the problem is that if with how the algorithms work now, if you do a song with an artist, the algorithm will obviously put that person, if there's a random playlisting that you are going, it may put that person's song. Now the issue is that if they now go from a Pompi song and they go to that person you featured, and on their, if they join the playlist and the algorithm puts them in line, what kind of music is it going to, so those are the things which
confusing.
we think about. It can be a bit confusing because
before you're called Pompi, what was your name?
As a battle rapper, my name was it was Overmass.
Overmass.
Yes.
Okay, so what's the idea behind the name?
The idea behind it, when you were a rapper, you wanted something where at Wakamvela, when they hear it, they're like, "Ni Overmass," So Overmass, basically overmass. So basically, like you are overmass. You are in a different dimension. Basically, that was when you are young, you're just thinking. So I can't even remember how I came up with the name, but yeah. So that was the name that I gave myself, and that's what I was going, these concerts and doing Overmass. But Pompi was actually, I would say it was given to me. I didn't name myself Pompi. Yeah. So the story is that I had a funny dream. I had a dream, and in that dream, I was called Pompi. And when I woke up, I told a couple of my friends, can you imagine, I had a crazy dream, and in the dream, my artist name was Pompi. I saw they laughed and they were like, in fact, it makes sense because the way the words come out of the mouth, kwati manzi yaku Pompi.
Oh, monga manzi yaku Pompi.
Yeah.
Okay.
The flow,
All right.
Because I was a battle rapper.
Yeah.
So they said, from now on, actually, we'll start calling you Pompi. So yeah. So I used to fight it, like, but I remember first time my song got played on radio. Who was the DJ? I can't remember who the DJ was, but like, oh, hey, brand new song for a young upcoming artist coming in. The man goes by the name Pompi. That was the first time my song gets played. So yeah, everybody knew me as Pompi, and I was like, you know what? But later on, I got an understanding of why, I guess. I decided to keep the name even after, because I felt it was relevant to the assignment I have. Yeah.
For many of us that don't know your actual name,
Yeah.
your bomber name.
My bomber name.
What are your names?
My name, okay, on my registration card, it's Chaka Nyatando. Okay. But my actual full name is Chaka Chadza Nyatando.
Chaka Chadza.
Yes, Chaka Chadza.
So Chaka Chadza. That's a Zambian name.
It is Chewa.
Oh, Chewa.
Yes,
okay.
It's Chewa. Chaka Chadza means the year has come.
Okay.
Yeah.
Can we speak about your relationship with Pastor Mpangwe?
Pastor Mpangwe, yes. Yes.
You're very close.
Yeah, Pastor Mpangwe. Pastor Mpangwe introduced me to the church Mount Zion.
Uh-huh.
I mean, one of my, I would say a father to me,
Mm.
Bishop Bruce. So he introduced me at the time when I said when I came back, I was trying to find a church.
Oh, right,
And
right.
Pastor Mpangwe was the coolest Christian I knew. I was just thinking like, this guy, how is he able to maintain? Because he was a DJ. He was a DJ, and I know him to be a DJ. Even so, he also was very influential in the circular space. And when he got born again, he still kept his charisma, and very cool. And we got close, and he actually invited me to church. And that's how I eventually joined Mount Zion
Mount
Church.
Zion.
So he's the one who helped me, I would say, locate a church to belong to. Yeah.
I also know that you're very close with my friend and brother Innocent Kalaluka, IK.
Oh, IK.
Mvera na maningi na IK. Mvera na chat na IK.
IK, it's a funny story. So, it's a funny story because when I released Chipolo Polo, and I decided, so me deciding to be a gospel artist was a private thing. No, I didn't make any announcement. But what happened is that when I released the songs and I got a bit familiar with the industry, um, let me sort of share some background. So I remember being invited. Remember, I was obviously in South Africa, performing with all these big artists, Wizkid, blah blah blah, and all these guys. So now when I came back here, and obviously in the kingdom in the gospel, I remember going to a church, and there was a concert that I was called for. Now, so yeah, Pompi is coming to the kingdom. I remember that concert. There was a white speaker. I'll never forget that white speaker. One speaker. The microphone was, these active speakers. The microphone was connected to the
speaker.
Directly to the speaker.
To the speaker. So it didn't go through the console.
Didn't go through the console.
It was, you just plug it in directly.
Plug in directly. Microphone, the laptop audio output plugged into the back as well. And that's where the instrumental was being played. And I just felt that the mediocrity, I was very disappointed.
Yeah.
So I was like, look, I was in the world pushing agendas that are not necessarily agendas that are worth doing. And there was excellence. And then I've come to the kingdom and there is mediocrity. So there was that disappointment again, like the feeling of, oh no, I'm a black sheep. No, am I gonna be perceived as a difficult person because maybe I'll be,
because you're advocating for excellence, and also in SA you're used to a different standard.
Exactly.
Right? So
yes,
it becomes even more difficult.
Exactly.
With that background.
Exactly. Exactly. Yeah. So I started to think like, okay, maybe let me not necessarily put myself out as a gospel artist. Let me just do music. I'll just keep it clean but brand myself as a conscious artist. Then what happened is the Born and Bred Awards had come up, and at the time you were supposed to submit your music in order to be nominated. And I didn't submit the song which I had done, Chipolo Polo, because I knew if I submit it, they'll put it under the gospel category. And if I win, that will basically be an announcement that Pompi is gospel.
Yes.
And now it will be the whole nation. So I didn't submit. I deliberately said I won't submit. So, I mean, I'm watching TV, random day, and the nominees for gospel. And they started mentioning the names. And Pompi is the nominee for. So, I mean, I was confused because I'm like, so I called Innocent. Like, oh, hey, Mr. Innocent, my brother, how are you doing? I've noticed I'm nominated for gospel, but I didn't give my name in.
Yeah.
So I was like, you're welcome, bro. So I couldn't complain because I was like, I can't be angry and tell him, bro, why would you do that?
Yeah, because maybe for him, he thought, you're calling him to commend him to say, oh, yeah.
Exactly, yeah. So obviously he did that and there's nothing I could do. Eventually got the award, and that's how actually everyone got to know that I'm a gospel artist now. So, I mean, I honor him because I felt he played a role. At that point, it was like a crossroads. If that didn't happen, maybe I wouldn't be here today as a gospel artist because I was a bit on a crossroads. But now that the announcement was made, now it was like that thing where now I had to live up to now this brand that I've been given. Yeah, so I would say that's why I honor him, because I'm like, God used him in
Yeah,
a unique way.
yeah, yeah. I
Yeah,
want us to speak about another relationship you have
yeah,
with Kenny Rock.
yeah.
One of the best in the game.
Man.
Kenny Rock is humble.
Yes, yes,
He's
yes.
good at what he does.
Brilliant
He
guy.
lets his work speak for itself.
Yes, yes, yes.
Amazing guy, great
Yes,
personality.
yes, yes, yes.
How do you guys know each other?
Kenny, I knew him North Mid, wants to start a media company. The only thing he owned was a laptop, a very bad laptop at that.
Mhm.
But had always had a mind for excellence and production. He always had a mind for excellence and production. And I think I related with him from that level. Yeah, he was very ambitious to just, change the narrative when it comes to the quality of Zambian production. And yeah, so I think that's where we got along as a fellow creative. And he's the one who used to shoot all the productions, all the videos that we would do initially. Um, so yeah, we just became good friends. Up to date, we're just good friends. I think he's a humble guy. He's just a great guy.
No. He's
a great guy.
Kenny Rock
Yeah.
is
Yeah.
he'll be here, but his silence will be like the guy is not even
Yeah,
here.
exactly,
But
exactly.
he lets he loves excellence.
He does.
His
He
work
really
is sometimes I will watch something, like I'll see a commercial. If the quality is so good, the first thing that comes to my mind is that I think Kenny Rock.
Yeah, I think Kenny Rock. Yeah.
So he's that guy.
Yeah.
But Pompi, let's speak about your performance. You went and performed at Big Brother Africa.
Yeah.
How did that come about?
So Big Brother Africa. Anyway, let me even tell you the backstory behind that. So Big Brother at the time, they were looking the eviction shows. They were looking for at the time the criteria was the most happening artist in that whatever country. It's the different countries where the contestants are. So at the time, the name that was submitted was myself for Zambia. But now when they submitted, they didn't. By the way, they didn't know that I'm actually a gospel artist.
Okay.
Yeah. So I remember the CEO for MultiChoice at the time called and said, "Pompi, your name has been submitted for this. Would you be interested in actually doing an eviction show?" But because of how big of course I was already familiar with going in spaces that are not necessarily the church and blah. But I thought that's like too big of a platform for me just to. So I actually went to my pastor, Bishop Bruce, and I asked him, like, this opportunity has come up. I just need your guidance. Do you think I should go ahead with it? And yeah, he was excited and said, look, these are the platforms that you need to to show your light on. Yeah, so of course that had happened. Went to SA, but then I discovered in SA there were employees who were the Big Brother is organized by a company called Sanati Studios. So there were actually employees of Sanati Studios who were believers, who always felt that no, we need a gospel artist one time to just come on the eviction show. So that's how I went to and when I went there, they welcomed me and they were very excited that look, for a long time we've been wanting a gospel artist to come on an eviction show. You are literally the first gospel artist who they even considered accepting. So we are so excited. Okay. And obviously got to do the performance. I remember sound check. I was doing my sound check, and the organizers came together and called for a meeting and said, Pompi, we understand that this is your song and these lyrics that you've put in, but if you don't mind, could you leave out certain words, like obviously we are a neutral platform. We don't want to bias towards any religion. So
from a business standpoint,
exactly, we don't want to bias towards any religion. So if you don't mind, maybe Jesus and the devil and all these words, if you could maybe just keep those off the performance, or you just edit those as you are singing. Yeah, and obviously at the time, I said no, absolutely not. I can't do that. If that's the case, then unfortunately I can't perform. But they already spent, obviously, for me to go there.
Yeah.
They spent. I think we were staying in like the Hilton or something. They
Yeah.
spent so much money for me to go there. So, yeah, they eventually just said, you know what, it's just go ahead and perform. And yeah, that's how I performed and kept all of those words in. And that's in a big way is what also introduced me to a lot of other markets. Because obviously that was prime time really on a
No, it was big.
continental on a
It's a
continental level.
huge
Yeah,
platform.
yeah. So yeah, it did very well to introduce me to different countries. Actually, Rwanda, I know Rwanda. A lot of people from Rwanda got to know about me from that performance. So it was quite significant also in the story of my journey. Yeah,
Just really quickly, I needed to ask this question regarding
yeah,
the Pole Pole album.
yeah, yeah.
You did a local and international tour, or are you planning to do it? Is it in the process?
I
You
did
did.
a local and an
Huh.
international tour. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So, yeah. So local tour, we obviously did
Yeah.
Lusaka. I think that was Monze, Lusaka, Choma, uh, Livingstone, Kitwe. Yeah, and then the international tour, we did Cape Town. We did um, Lilongwe. We did Nairobi. We did Kampala. Yeah.
You changed the name from Pompi to Chairman Pompi.
Yeah, yeah.
What's happening there? What's the story there, brother?
So it wasn't actually that deep of a thing. It's just what happened was that my Facebook page
Uh-huh.
before was called Pompi Fan Page. That's how when you are trying to get a Facebook like name.
Mm.
When I opened the account, it was refusing for me to just put Pompi. So I was thinking of all these different things to
Yeah,
put.
what could you? Yeah.
Yeah, so but I thought Pompi fan page wasn't good. Like I just felt like I didn't like the name too much, and obviously at the time in the company, so under Atmosphere, so there's Atmosphere Enterprise, which is the overarching company. Then there's different ventures under. So there's Atmosphere Daily, there's the production house, there's all these different things, which each of them have got their leaders, and essentially I would say I operate as a chairman
Okay,
in a
great.
way,
Yeah.
or at least
So that's the holding company.
yeah, that's the holding
Yeah, and
company.
then smaller brands
Yes,
under.
exactly,
Okay,
exactly.
okay.
So, I would say, yeah, I just randomly just thought, you know what, let me just put the chairman Pompey, because I would say I love the role of what I love the role of what chairmen do, because essentially as a chairman, you're not necessarily the one speaking all the time.
Mhm.
You're the one gathering the information, and you have your experts in the different spaces, and you get the information and basically just make sure there is equity in the communications, and drive. It's not your opinion that matters. You are throwing there first. You sort of have to take some type of a back seat and let people lead. So I guess it was defining my next chapter in regard, and I think that's what I want to be even moving forward.
Okay.
um I want to be more in the background, and yeah, letting other people
Take the
do
lead.
their thing, take the
Uh-huh.
lead. Yeah.
Yeah. Now, I really want us to quickly speak about some of the accolades that that you've received,
Yeah.
over the years. I know
Yeah.
you got local and international recognition. Any notable ones that we can speak about?
um Maybe there's the Groove Awards. The I would say that they were the biggest gospel awards at the time. Then they discontinued on the continent. So those ones I got the best Southern African artist. So that was a big one for me. If you speak of accolades, one of the things that I cherish so much was headlining a concert with Oliver Mutukuzi in Uganda,
Oh wow.
because Oliver Mutukuzi was my childhood man. Like I loved Oliver Mtukudzi.
He
Yeah,
he brought us a different sound.
yeah,
Put Zimbabwe on the map.
exactly.
Yeah.
His humility. I mean, yeah. I just love the man. So I think that's definitely one of the things that I think. Touring with Maverick City and Kirk Franklin. Touring with them was, I think, one of the things I cherish. Um, I think right now that's what I can think about. Maybe also some of the features that I were able to achieve with Pole Pole.
Yeah.
Obviously, Limo Blaze, I mean, one of the most happening gospel artists in the world right now. Called Out Music, the biggest gospel artist in the UK right now. So I guess some of these things were, for me, things that I was very, very happy about achieving. Yeah.
Chairman Pompi, Bien from Southeast Soul called
Yeah.
you the best African artist. You're supposed to do something together, right?
Yes. So what Bien and Southeast Soul, when we met, they were basically
You met in East Africa.
we actually met here.
Oh, here. Okay.
So we met here. They had an event here, where they were doing like a media run, and they had a small event and they had invited artists. So when I was invited to the same. So when I went there, they were singing Silence. So the Southeast Soul guys were singing Silence. They were like when they saw me. So that's I had no idea they knew me. So yeah, they were saying, "Oh man, we're huge fans," and so that's how we obviously exchanged contacts and we're in touch. But it was that they wanted me to Bien specifically was saying like, "Look, we would want to put you on as one of the people who writes, like if we can do some writing collaborations." Where we write for you, you write for us.
Do those things actually happen?
Oh yeah, big time.
It's Wakunja, so we don't even know.
Yeah.
As we just look at the product.
Yeah, a lot of artists people see their music is written for them.
And actually, it makes a lot of sense because people have different strengths. Right?
Yeah.
There are those that can write and sing, those that can just sing and not write.
Exactly. Yes.
And I'm sure, obviously, you've got the prolific songwriters who will be very good at writing and probably not so good at singing. So
Exactly.
I think that collaboration makes sense.
Yes, it does.
Yeah.
It does. Especially if you wanna sound that you're not. It's not you. It's not like or you wanna sing in a language that's not yours. If you wanna sing in Swahili, you probably need a lyricist who speaks Swahili to write for you on those parts because you want to reach a Kenyan market. So there's always that it's always necessary for you to do those kind of collaborations. So that's where the conversations started from. But then obviously they got signed to some major, I think, American label. That was when they were independent, and when they got signed to that label,
because record labels also they bring their own terms and conditions.
Yeah. Right? I guess so. Yeah. So anyway, also just communication broke for a little bit there as well. But I mean, we're often in touch. When I go to Kenya, when he came recently, we're in touch, and he's somebody who I just know to be a friend now. Yeah.
Your wife Esther.
Yeah.
People love her.
Yeah.
She's such an amazing woman. How did you guys meet?
Esther, you remember I used to do events. So I used to do all these different events and concerts. And Esther was an artist who I would often bring because I used to think she was just a phenomenal woman. But at that time, she was a sister in Christ. Yeah.
Okay.
She was a sister in Christ.
Then what changed?
What changed was a coffee date.
Okay.
A coffee date. I used to think so at the time. I used to think, no, she maybe. I don't think she. I don't know. I had a perception. Of her. She had a perception of me.
Yeah.
And yeah, I just thought maybe no, maybe she's not. She's too young. Maybe I don't know if she'll get me. Maybe I'll be a bit too boring for her, because in the like. Yeah, so we had a coffee. And that coffee date is what I guess that at that moment is when I got to know her, well. And from that day, essentially, we were just chatting every single day, every single day. And yeah, became very good friends. A hilarious part is that I never. She actually says up to today that I never asked her out.
Things started happening.
No, what I one day I just said, okay, from today I'll start calling you baby, and she was like, okay, bye, baby. That was it.
Chairman, you got vibes, huh?
Yeah, so
And one thing
because
led to the other.
obviously for me to get to the confidence to say that, I mean, it was very obvious that we were very close. So at the time I used to say that I don't. And why that came about is because both of us were at the time. I said that the logic behind it was that I just felt it's silly to ask somebody, "Can you be my best friend?" That some people date out of title.
Yeah.
So you say, "Oh, can you be my girlfriend?" And then now that title is what holds you together, or you feel that that's you know. But I was sort of at the time, and I guess I always tell it to my nephews that just don't put a title to the relationship. Just meet somebody, become close, and be friends, and then let it naturally progress. Don't 1 week in say, "Oh, can you be my girlfriend?" Because that's the equivalent of asking somebody, "Can you be my best friend?"
You know.
And that's not
It's
a
not. I think
very
this
wise
thing.
question to
I
ask.
think these
Yeah,
things just have to flow naturally.
exactly,
Before you decide to say, okay, can this one be my best friend or whatever. The
exactly,
best friendship is based on how you interact,
exactly,
the situation just tells you
exactly,
this is what
exactly,
it is,
exactly,
right?
exactly. Yeah,
Now, Pompey, how has so you have a child together, right?
two.
Two
Yeah,
children.
yeah, yeah.
How has marriage and fatherhood sort of like impacted you and your career?
I think what it has done, it has definitely balanced me.
Mhm.
And now I guess there is a pressure now, because obviously the Bible, I'll quote the Bible. The Bible says that a wise man leaves an inheritance for his children's children, right?
Mhm.
And with how I think of things, that's the Bible saying that the prerequisite for wisdom is thinking 3 generations. That wisdom starts there. If
Mhm.
you are thinking, okay, me, I'm doing well. I can buy a Brabus, and I can buy yes, but can three generations down the line, is what you are creating something that um, can be passed on, to different generations. And I think when I had children, or both of us had children, that's now been our focus. So it's not about us and trying to, it's more like, look, we need to make sure that um, these kids are secure. So yeah, obviously for each child, making sure there's land for each child.
Mhm.
So that is some of the things that we just set up, that because
Yeah.
obviously land can be passed on multiple generations,
You see,
but the car that I drive can't be passed on multiple
no, it
generations.
won't.
Yeah.
And then you see our friends from other countries, like what
Yeah.
you're saying. They never think of, okay, let me do this and be great and my kids be comfortable. Just in line with what you're saying.
Yeah. Yeah.
They will actually not even think I'm doing this for my kids. The plan is the grandchildren. And I
Yes.
think wealth creation, a lot of people do not realize is that wealth should be passed on from generation to generation.
Yes. Yes.
You create riches that can finish today. Then
Exactly.
actually we're not thinking. So
Yes.
it's nice to hear that
Yeah.
that is the level of thinking that you
Ye-
guys are,
Yeah. Yeah.
where you're looking at your grandchildren,
Yeah. Hundred
meaning it's
percent.
wealth creation.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
No, it's very interesting.
Because one interesting thing we always talk about.
Mhm.
There's Can you name a company that can coin since 1986?
Where in Zambia?
Yeah.
I don't know. It's a difficult one.
So there seems to be this cycle of um once a person is wealthy and has lived a successful life,
Mhm.
that somehow there's a breaking on the generation. It's not being passed on
Yeah,
from generation to generation. There's a breaking
uh,
somewhere,
yeah,
and somehow I think it's biblical, because Abraham left wells for Isaac, but the Philistines covered the wells. So essentially, there's just a natural force that is fighting inheritance. Um, the inheritance of whether it's wisdom or the inheritance of wealth. People live for themselves more and more these days, I think.
Really quickly, Chairman Pompi, let's speak about betting and gambling. What's your
Yeah.
take on that?
Betting and gambling. Betting and gambling, I think, of course, it's an ancient tradition, right? But my issue with how where I started the narrative and talking about is from the regulation perspective. It is a vice recognized, all different. The WHO recognizes problem gambling as a disease. It's not people. The problem is that people just look at gambling like it's a game, but it can lead to addiction. There are people who are the people who are addicted. They are called problem gamblers. Yeah. So they are ever since I've started ever since I started expressing that, a lot of people who are problem gamblers was reach out to me and like, oh, Pompi, I don't know if you can help me. I'm an addict to this, you know. But what I was fighting for, I obviously wrote an open letter to the president, and I said, look, I think this thing needs regulation because it needs to be handled like the way the other vices are handled. Which is what happens in other countries. You can't put a billboard for gambling where it can be exposed, where there can be exposure to children. Um, Even billboards, just if you go into other countries, even some of these gambling betting companies, even where they come from, they can't put the billboards that they put up here. So it's just, again, thinking generations ahead. Do we want a generation that believes that instant gratification is what will build them wealth? Because what's happening is now these youth are basically camping in those betting centers, some sleeping in there. um, um, but I think the more responsible lesson to teach them is that it takes time. Wealth takes time. You need to be a good steward. You need to steward a vineyard. The Bible puts it as managing a vineyard, that managing a garden. So you can't just a garden just can't come from with instant gratification. And there's no shortcuts. There's no other
There
way.
isn't. Absolutely
There's
not.
no other way.
Yeah.
So it was just on the regulation that I was fighting for. That look, the same regulations that are put in these different countries to make sure children are secured. Let those regulations be put here as well, because here it's like a gambling haven. If you even think of Las Vegas was in the desert. Why? They said, you guys, the rest of America, obviously there's very heavy regulation on gambling, but you guys can have this city where you'll be able to express this gambling. You are free to do it, but nowhere else, So that's the regulation that I'm talking about. But I just felt there is not enough regulation here.
Have you
You have
gambled before?
news, and the billboard behind the news is a betting company, advertising during news, during a prime time show. So yeah, it's just looking out. I was just a Zambian citizen trying to look out um, for a generation. Yeah, I would say.
I think I've seen an opportunity also to look out for something
Yeah.
or to something.
Yeah.
In the media space, did you actually realize that in Zambia, you can't advertise a hospital? Law firms can't also advertise, and
My
and
goodness.
it confuses me. What sense is there behind it? Okay.
Yes.
Yeah,
yes.
because where we are now, shouldn't you know what kind of a specialist hospital is available in your neighborhood?
Exactly.
How do you know about it? Is if they advertise, right?
Exactly.
Even law firms, you got law firms that will specialize in maybe family law, corporate law. So you need to know where it is. But
Exactly.
why are they not allowed to advertise?
Exactly. and you see, it's really there's a lot of hypocrisy around.
Yeah.
I believe, because like, for example, let's look at cigarettes. Yeah, of course, legal, guys in legal, HR, consultancy, none of them can advertise. So you are strict with that, but loose with a vice. And then even this vice, it's the categorization. It's not categorized with alcohol. By the way, gambling is not categorized with alcohol and cigarettes. advertises it's categorized. It's at the highest categorization with the heavy drugs. That's how deep the addiction can go. I mean, it destroys people's lives. Of the vices that lead to suicide, guess which one is the number one vice? Not cocaine, not heroin. It's gambling and betting. So now, if we are just being truthful with ourselves and looking at the data that's there as responsible people, shouldn't we at least look there and say, okay, this thing, yes, it's an ancient practice. Let them run their things, but let's have regulation. So that's basically what I was fighting for. That let's have some level of regulation.
Also, I think I've seen a few betting companies that will put a more like a disclaimer that will say, bet responsibly,
Yeah.
or things like that.
Yeah.
And I think if the betting with I mean, betting responsibly
Yeah.
could also be pushed as a serious agenda.
Mm.
Maybe it would fall in line with what you're trying to.
Yeah. Of course, there is there is that element, but again, the
But
issue
there
is
is you feel like they're giving carte blanche to do whatever they want to do. Yeah.
like the other time. I mean, I posted, there was a right outside the school. They put a billboard, so I put it up online. Fortunately, which I'm grateful for, the government responded and said that that billboard has to come down, and they took it down by the next morning, which was fantastic. And kudos to the government for doing that. Because yeah, I mean, right outside the school, on the school entrance, there was a billboard for betting, and sports betting. So these are the things which I was just like, you know what, guys, I think we need to add some regulation. And there's more. I mean, it's just people should just look through. I would advise people to watch a documentary done by the BBC on Ugandan. The case study is Uganda and gambling, and basically, I think that can give people a bit of context about what sports betting is and how deep the roots go. Yeah.
Chairman Pompi, my light project. Let's speak
Yeah.
about that before we wind up. I think
Oh,
it's a
wow.
very interesting project. Yeah.
Wow. Thank you so much. Wow. You guys really do your research. Wow.
We've got the information. We have to dig so that we know.
No mediocrity here.
No, nothing.
No, thanks. My light project. My light project is I obviously this was before load shedding. I discovered that only 45%, if I'm not mistaken, of Zambia is connected to the electricity grid. So there are a lot of students in rural areas who don't have access to power. So now in the evening, when they want to study or do the homework, that candle that the family shares is probably what they would need to use. That little moment when there is candlelight is what they would need to use to do their studies. And obviously now it means that the children in the city who've got access to power, they have an advantage of light. I mean, which should be a basic human right of just light. So obviously, myself and my wife thought that we should. We discovered a company that supplies these solar lamps that you light it for 1 hour and it basically can provide light for 4 hours. So yeah, we'll distribute them in different schools that don't have access to the electricity grid, so the students can be able to study at night.
Study.
Yeah.
How's it going so far?
It's going very well. It's going very well. Yeah, we're actually visiting an orphanage this Saturday.
Okay.
Although now we've added other things because yeah, we discovered there are also other obviously things. So for example, just soya chunks for protein. Obviously, get some soap, but a soap that doubles as a bathing soap and a washing soap, because like in orphanages, just washing powder. Sometimes because of the number of children, these can be very heavy costs. So yeah, just doing our part to try and support.
If you need more partners, which I think you do, others that will come out in the open, others that would just want to silently be part of the project,
Yeah.
you have an opportunity to speak to them right now in that camera there.
Oh wow. Yeah.
Speak to them and maybe just give them a few reasons why they need to be a part of this thing. And to be very honest, I'll be very happy that after this show,
Yeah.
If we even have more partners and more sponsors, it means that you reach out to more kids.
Yeah. Yeah.
And would have also contributed to what you're doing by
Yeah, yeah.
giving the platform to those that might be
Wow.
interested. Yeah.
No, thank you so much. So yeah, why we started this thing is because we sort of felt that the idea of an NGO or orphanages always being somebody who's caught flights to Zambia, and you send pictures of vulnerable children to the States or to the UK, and then collect monies and come back here. Why should we do that when there are Zambians here who have the capacity, even way more than us, to be able to help? So it's not that we're an organization looking for people to even bring money to 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 our movement, but in your own capacities, just help the community around you. Not necessarily through us. We don't have the administration we don't have the administrative capacities right now to receive your money, but in your own, we can give you phone numbers for the communities that we support, and you can go directly to them and support them. And we can send you to our suppliers as well. We also don't want people to think that we are fundraising using this platform. So yeah, let's just help as Zambians. Let's help each other, their children who are vulnerable. Let's at least make sure that that generation is good. Yeah.
Yeah, I think what I've picked out from what you've said, Chairman Pompi, is look, I understand why also you'd like to connect people who would want to give this support directly.
Yeah.
Because also sometimes, when people come on and you don't want to be misunderstood, one.
Yes,
Two,
exactly.
it also shows that it's a genuine cause.
Yeah,
the interest is not for you to receive anything.
Yes.
The interest is for support to go to the children and the
exactly.
communities that actually need this. So,
Yeah.
if it's a good project that they're doing, and for me, they've shown us the way. And what Chairman is saying is that, look, you can also do it directly, and we'll be most grateful if you took that up.
Yeah.
Pompi, we've got a question from our previous guest for you. Our previous guest was Prophet DM Siam.
Yes.
The Inyans man.
Yes.
His question to you reads: if you weren't in your current role, what job would you be doing right now?
That is a good question. That is a good question. I would be in the corporate space. I'm sure the path would have been that I would have been working in the corporate space, because I did. My honors degree is in business systems. So I'll probably be in the corporate space and then eventually retire and start my own business. But yeah, I definitely, without God's intervention, I don't think I would have been a musician. I would have definitely been in the corporate space.
Yeah. So you have an opportunity to ask a question to our next guest.
Yeah.
We've got 3 questions. Question 1, 2, and 3. You pick a number, and then I'll read out the question for our next guest.
Okay. Okay. Let's see. I like this this idea, by the way.
Okay. Great.
So I think if the next guest had all the money that they needed, let them name 3 activities that they would do. That they would just do. What agendas would they drive?
Great. So we'll write that question down. Now, what's funny is usually what we do, we write the question already. All you do is you pick a number, right?
Okay.
Now, I'll tell you what is going on here.
Yeah.
So for some reason, there's no question written down for me here today. It's never happened before. I think it's been, no, I've checked. There's nothing. Okay, please come and show me. So it's very interesting that, which bag, madam? Oh, really? It's inside. Okay, well, I didn't see it. I thought it ended here, but either way, it has played out very, very correctly. So now this question now is directly coming from Pompi himself to our next guest. Chairman, would like to thank you so much for your time.
Thank you so much.
You're a professional. We started to shoot earlier than we usually do today.
Oh, wow.
So we really struggled to get out of bed to be here because even in my mind, I said, look, this guy looks like he's very professional and he's good with time, you know?
No, thank you.
So I really had to rush out to get here. And when I got here, I asked, they told me, no. He's already upstairs and all of that. So we're very grateful for your time, Pompi.
No,
And,
thank you so
you
much.
know, we wish you all the best. We've got a lot of platforms under Powerhouse Media.
Yeah.
Please take this as an open invitation if you're doing anything. Also with with your project that you're doing with your wife.
Yeah.
If there's some publicity, there's a way that we can also help the cause.
Oh wow.
Please feel free to reach out to us.
No, thank you so much. Thank you so much. And congratulations. They're well-deserved awards.
Oh, the awards, huh? No, thank you, man.
Very well-deserved.
I hope we take them all this year as well.
Yes, I'm sure you will. I'm sure you will. Congrats. Yeah.
All right. Yeah. Thanks a lot. This has been the Kenny T One-on-One podcast. Please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Hit that bell button so that every single time we upload an episode, you get that notification. We'd like to thank our sponsors, Yatu Tea, and also Powerhouse Media, the holding company for Power TV, Power FM, and Bits TV. My name is Kenny T. We're back again next week. Same place, same space.